And I hate to tell you, you get the last question for us.
Oh, that's so much more pressure
Sorry.
than I can handle.
They're flagging me.
Okay. You want to talk more about consciousness or more about morality?
It's your question, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Morality? Yeah, all right, fine. So,
Yeah, because that'll be quick.
yeah.
Not like consciousness would have been any quicker.
So, Matt, thanks so much for coming back to Toronto. Always great to hear you talk. Dr. Peterson, thanks for coming. Mr. Peterson, you seem sort of very willing to talk about how evolution and biological underpinnings can influence the meta-narrative down the road that, underpins our lives. But can't it also just be that evolution underpins morality without that extra step? Like, isn't it enough that the only animals that evolved are the ones that didn't die, and the only ones that evolved into a society are the ones that could live in a civilized society? Like, isn't it really clear that there are evolutionary underpinnings to morality and that there are animals that display morality and that it's not just humans? We're really good at it, but we're not the only ones.
Well, I would say certainly the last part of your statements are true, is that you can see what like morality in some sense is an emergent property of group interactions. It's more complicated than that because it's group interactions across time. It's more complicated than that. You see the clear underpinnings of morality in animals. Sure. You're asking, does there have to be something metaphysical beyond that?
No, I'm saying what seems metaphysical to us is just because we're like really faulty analyzers of the real world, like the whole shadows in the grass, type 1 and, like false positives, false negatives. But like, why we wouldn't be a society if we were just naturally disposed to being immoral? Like, morality is entirely selfish. It's really good for me to be moral because my life's really good that way. And it makes me feel really good to be nice to other people. If it felt like shit to be nice to other people, I wouldn't do it.
Well, it
so
does
we evolved
sometimes.
to be moral. There's a reason it makes us feel good.
Well, okay. Look, I'm going to refer to Jung again. Jung did hypothesize that he talked a lot about the God image in human beings, which was distinct from God. And you could say, let's go back to the psychedelic issue. You could say that people can have intense mystical experiences, even intense mystical experiences of a deity directly, let's say, because that does happen, without that being construed as evidence for the existence of a deity, right? The religious instinct could be built so deep into us that we can't get outside it, even if it's just a materialistic instinct.
Well,
that
some
is
of
a
us can get
possibility.
outside it. Like, I'm outside it.
Let him finish because we're out of time.
Oh, well, and I don't really know how to distinguish between those things. I'm not even sure that you can distinguish between them. Now, do I have anything else to say about that in closing? No, I guess I don't. I mean, I tried to lay out these views, the answer to your question, in detail in my first book. It's about 600 pages long. And it's really, 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 really hard. But it does address what you're asking. And I don't think there's a real simpler way of doing it. I didn't find one.
I only have a couple things to add before we close this out. First of all, I have no idea how long my first book's going to be, but it won't be 600 pages. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Also, I don't think I have anything specific to tag on to your question because I get the impression that we're likely on this similar pages because I think that the moral, cultural aspects of this are something that happen naturally. We observe in other primates senses of fairness. And the key cornerstones for morality from my perspective, while I gave an outline for a secular moral system, the foundations of that are empathy and the desire to have a good life. And the last note is one time when I was on LSD, I was staring at the wood grain on the bathroom door. I don't know why I was in the bathroom, but I was there. And from the wood grain on the bathroom door, an image formed. This is not a joke. It was a strawberry with an S on its chest, and a face and a cape. And Super Strawberry flew off that bathroom door and did a lap around my head before it smacked right into the door and became wood grain again. Coolest trip ever. And despite that, I don't think it points to the reality of Super Strawberry or his abilities. And because that was an incredibly unfair applause line to end the night with, I'd like to let Dr. Peterson give one last remark, and then we will thank you all and say goodnight. So if you have anything to add or close with on anything we've discussed this evening.
Well, I only have one thing to say. I mean, I'm very pleased, for what that's worth, that these sorts of discussions are taking place and that there's an avid public audience for them. It's like, great, you know? Yeah.
And on that note of complete agreement, thank you guys so much for coming out. We really appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you. Sometimes we'll come back through. Cheers. Great job. Thank you. Thank you.